I'm Perry Frandsen, the Commissioner for the Great Salt Lake Council Boy Scouts of America.
What is all markets to you?
Well, all markets to me, as I look at our council, we have about, as of today, 50.44% of those who are eligible to be part of scouting that are served. So my look at all markets is what of the other 49.6%? That to me is all markets, those that we're not serving. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a special group or a particular focus on a particular kind of segment of our population. It's pretty much everybody that's not being served.
What are the challenges? What are the changes you have seen since the implementation of the All Markets program?
I think in one word, it's positive. The word positive in all aspects. I see positive press. I see a positive uplift in volunteers seeing that you can do something. You can make a difference. You can reach out. You can expand the size of your units. You can touch the hearts and lives of young people where otherwise you wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't have that positive attitude.
How has the All Markets program impacted the community?
Again, it's positive. I can see an uptick in the numbers. We went from serving 47% of our population to 50% recently. I think that in our civic groups, in our government, in churches, there's more of an awareness that there are those that need to be served and can be served, and then as we put our heads together, we can determine how to best serve them.
What are some of the challenges you have seen with this program, and what did you do to overcome them?
Well, some of the challenges are just helping others, be they volunteers or professionals, understand that there is a segment of the population that is not being served, and that the values of scouting can be instilled in the hearts and minds of young people who really need it, be they targeted population, homeless, refugee, or even just in our own neighborhoods and communities where values may not be practiced so much. And so what I've tried to do as a commissioner, especially in our, we have 20 districts in our council, is when I have my district commissioners together, that's one of the things that we focus on, is how we can expand our number of units and how we can expand the number of boys that are participating.
In your opinion, what are the best practices of this council regarding all markets?
Best practices would be finding, or maybe that we have found, but finding also in the future, people who are dedicated enough and have a depth of understanding of scouting and the values of scouting that are willing to sacrifice their time. And oftentimes they don't think it's a sacrifice because it's just part of their value system, because they were scouts and they were served by scouting. But having them, or finding those people who have those kinds of convictions and depth of understanding and knowledge and a vision of what it is they want to do and what we would like for them to do.
What is your vision of this program in the next 5 years?
Well, my vision is the remaining 50%. Where do we find them? How do we get them to come? It's been my experience being also on a Cub committee that, and my wife serving as a den leader, that there are so many that are not served. My wife went to her first den meeting 4 years ago as a new wolf den leader, and there were 3 boys there. And she asked the question, well, where are all the boys? And the boys had various reasons for that. And she said, well, do you know other boys in the community that are your age? And of course they knew them. And she expanded that program from 3 boys to 14 over a series of months just by asking that question. And I went with her on several visits, and my responsibility was to fall off the front porch, because all she did was walked up to the door and knocked on it, and she brought with her a magical form, which is a youth application. And we talked to the parents on the doorstep. And in 100% of the cases that I went on, the parents signed that application and their boys joined. And I consider that part of all markets.
What advice would you give to other councils starting this program?
I talked to Donovan about this a few minutes ago. Get started. That is the biggest thing, is get started and instill the vision in the hearts of your volunteers. Help them to understand that there is more than just what they see every Wednesday night or every Wednesday afternoon in a Cub den. There are so many out there that could be otherwise served if we just extended ourselves and take that magical application to the doorstep of a young person that isn't being served currently and offer scouting to them. And I think you'll be surprised to see how many are just willing to sign up and to go forward and be a part of it.
Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Again, it's the same thing. Get started. We found that having professionals that are behind it, having a key 3 that are behind it, and having a vision, I think overall in our planning to increase the numbers that are being served, and not merely for the numbers, but for the difference that it'll make in our communities. We have a Corinne Kinney troop here that otherwise would maybe they'd be in gangs, but we end up with a number of those boys, the refugees that have come to be part of us here in the United States, be it through political asylum or for whatever reason. But we've taught them values, and we've had a number of Eagle Scouts over the last couple of years, and those boys now have goals and values instilled in them that will make a difference for generations to come. Where otherwise, if we hadn't spent the time with them and had volunteers and dedicated leaders, we would probably have lost those boys to gangs.
Perfect. Thank you.